11-year-old Preston dreams of having his own room. The boy's father is obsessed with business and wants his children to learn how to earn money on their own. Preston's older brothers constantly turn his room into an office, set up a computer, even though they don't know how to use it. Using a voice program that reads text aloud, the boy makes jokes about his brothers, and they get offended at the youngest sibling. Going to a classmate's birthday party, Preston receives only $2, which he exchanges for 6 tokens. While all the other kids enjoy the rides, Preston settles for the baby swings because they are the cheapest. Back home, the boy tries to understand why his parents won't give him any money, since they're not poor. Frederick and Sandra Waters are frugal and count every penny. The parents believe the boy should earn everything himself and not ask them for money. Deciding to treat Preston a bit before his birthday, they give him a letter from his grandmother. Seeing a bank check, the boy hopes for a large sum, but the old lady forgot to write the amount. The parents think that $11 is more than enough for him. Preston, who dreams of having $1 million, calculates how long it would take to save that much, only to learn it would take hundreds of years. After escaping from prison and opening a hidden stash, Quigley retrieves a suitcase full of money. Coming to banker Edward Biederman, he demands that the bills be exchanged because their serial numbers are known to the police. The next day, exactly at 1 p.m., a trusted person of the fugitive named Juice will come to pick up the $1 million. At the same time, Preston arrives at the bank and talks to a bank employee named Shay to make his first deposit. It turns out that the minimum deposit is $200, so the boy needs to save a bit more. After stealing the grandmother's check, one of Preston's classmates tries to run away. The boy chases him, but at some point, he falls off his bike. Not noticing the child, Quigley accidentally runs over the boy's bike. Trying to make up for it, the man gives Preston a check, but when he sees the police, he flees the scene of the accident, forgetting to write the amount on the check. Tired of living by his parents' rules and being scolded for every penny, the boy decides to start a new life and uses the blank check. He fills in the amount of $1 million in the empty field and goes to bed, hoping his plan will work. In the morning, Preston tries to cash the check. Thinking the child is joking, the bank employee takes him to the manager. Seeing that the check is from Quigley and noticing it's almost 1 p.m., Edward mistakes the child for the man named Juice and gives him the money. Taking $1 million in cash, Preston runs out of the bank. At the same time, Juice arrives at the bank. Edward realizes his mistake, but the boy is already long gone. On his way home, Preston notices that his neighbors are selling a luxurious stone castle. Dreaming of his own place, the boy calls the realtor. Using a voice assistant, he negotiates with Quigley and offers $300,000 for the castle. Realizing they won't sell the house to a child, Preston introduces himself as Mr. McIntosh. Coming to the bank, the man threatens Edward and learns he gave all the money to a child. Shay is actually an undercover FBI agent. Noticing suspicious activity, she reports everything to her superiors and believes the bank owner is involved in money laundering. Under house arrest, Preston escapes and orders a limousine with a chauffeur. Henry doesn't take the boy seriously, but seeing the stack of cash, he obeys him. The little millionaire has all the fun he wants, playing basketball, baseball, computer games, and buying every piece of clothing he sees. Back home, he sees Shay again and tells her he has $200 to make his first deposit. The next morning, Preston's father can't get to work because the entire street is blocked by trucks unloading Mr. McIntosh's purchases. Afraid to admit he lied, Preston says he works for a respected man who bought the castle next door. Having created a full-on amusement park, Preston has the time of his life with Henry and denies himself nothing. Receiving the money from the realtor who sold the castle, Shay checks the bills and sees that they are marked by the FBI. Learning that the new property owner is Mr. McIntosh, she suspects him of money laundering and develops a plan to catch him. Arriving at the home purchased by McIntosh, Shay hopes to meet him, but only sees little Preston enjoying the mansion. The boy tells her the businessman is busy and invites her on a date. Lacking relationship experience, he asks Henry for advice on how to win a girl's heart. Returning home, the boy tells his father he needs to go out in the evening, but Frederick is against it because the boy is grounded. Using a trick, he says he showed his father's project to McIntosh, who is interested in financing it. Moved, Frederick lets his son go, hoping to start a partnership with Mr. McIntosh. That evening, the wealthy kid meets with Shay, treats her to gourmet food, and takes care of her. Feeling uncomfortable, he falls off his chair and suggests they go to another place for burgers. After dinner, Shay and Preston have fun together. Quigley, Juice, and Edward, who have been hunting the boy, finally spot him, but Preston manages to escape. After the date, the bank employee says she'd really like to meet Mr. McIntosh, and Preston invites her to a party at the mansion. Frederick notices that none of his sons are home and finds out they all work for Mr. McIntosh. Preston mocks his brothers, making them do humiliating jobs for a few bucks. Preparing for the party, the boy hires a manager, letting her organize an incredible celebration. Spotting the boy again, Quigley, Edward, and Juice chase him. Trying to escape, Preston loses his backpack and barely avoids the criminals. Noticing that a passerby picked up the backpack, he manages to retrieve the money and flee. The criminals aren't giving up and find one of Preston's classmates, threatening him to reveal information about the boy and where he lives. While getting ready for the party, Henry advises Preston to be careful. Many people in today's world are greedy and only befriend those with money. Meeting with Shay, the boy is upset that she's only interested in the mysterious homeowner. Seeing an attractive woman, his brothers warn Preston that such girls are only into wealthy men. Evening comes, and respected guests arrive at the castle to congratulate the millionaire. Shay puts on a wire and also goes to the party to arrest Mr. McIntosh. The event organizer can't find the guest of honor and asks the boy to settle the bills. Taking the check, Preston heads to his office and finds that he has just over $300 left, while the party cost $100,000. At that moment, Preston's father walks into the office. Not seeing who's in the chair, he asks the man to let his son go home since it's his birthday. Frederick feels like a bad father for always offending the boy and not giving him money. Now he realizes how wrong he was and wants to change his attitude toward his son. Forgiving his father, Preston tries to catch up to him but doesn't make it. Soon the boy learns that Henry left and believes he's a traitor who was only friends with him for the money. Shay finds the sad boy and wants to meet McIntosh. Realizing that all she cares about is money, he sends the woman away. Returning to the party, the boy announces that the businessman went bankrupt, and everyone leaves McIntosh's house. Preston is left completely alone, sad and abandoned. Hearing a knock on the door, he thinks Henry is back but finds the criminals at the doorstep, wanting to get their stolen money back. The boy confesses he spent the $1 million and that Mr. McIntosh is made up. Quigley, still evading the police, decides to use the name and start a new life. Running from the criminals, Preston mocks Edward, attacks Juice with baseball bats, and catapults Quigley in a metal ball into the pool. Banding together, the criminals catch him, but at that moment they're surrounded by FBI agents looking for McIntosh. Quigley says he is the mysterious businessman. Accused of fraud and money laundering, the FBI arrests him, along with banker Edward and Juice. Left alone with Shay, she admits that the date with Preston was the best thing that ever happened to her and asks him to call her when he turns 18, kissing the young bankrupt goodbye. Meeting with his father, the boy decides not to tell him the whole truth about Mr. McIntosh. Walking outside, Preston sees Henry and realizes he's a true friend. He just left the party to buy him a bucket of ice cream. Back home, Preston receives a surprise. Realizing that he already has everything, the boy thanks his brothers and parents for the gift. Looking at a photo of Shay, he realizes something is still missing, and makes a wish as he blows out the candles. That's all. Now tell us, what would you spend $1 million on?